Hey y'all, welcome back to Leonard Creek Farm. Alright guys, we found a shady spot, which is kind of hard right now because the sun is out, which is unusual because it's been really cloudy and really rainy. Okay guys, so let's get down to business here. I posted a video yesterday talking about why I am probably not going to be breeding rabbits in the wintertime. And I gave a few reasons, but in this video, I really want to lay out those reasons why. I also want to make this video to help others, because I remember before I bred the rabbits in the wintertime, I asked. I got on one of those, like, Facebook, meat rabbit, pages, and I asked people, do you breed in the wintertime? And some people said, it's not really worth it to breed in the wintertime, and other people said, I do, and I don't have any issues. This is our first time breeding in the wintertime, and we've had multiple issues that I don't think outweigh the profit. In this video, I'm going to discuss if you think, or if you come to the conclusion as I have, the same conclusion as I have, if it's worth breeding rabbits in the wintertime as opposed to the summer and the spring. So let's get into it. Okay, guys. So what I did is I bred the rabbits to have babies in November. So that means I bred them in October, they had babies in November, and the babies are ready for their new home here at the end of December. And so we didn't breed in the wintertime, we bred to have babies in December. And the reason behind that was to see if they sold better in the wintertime. So anybody that has followed our channel for a period of time and has heard me talk about rabbits, I am a very big advocate for having meat rabbits on the farm. And the reason for that is because they're easy to raise, they're easy to breed, they're cheap to feed, and you don't have to hold on to them for very long. And we've made a pretty good profit off of the rabbits, a large profit, I should say, off of the rabbits. So they sell so easy in my area and so quickly in my area that I have them sold before they're even of age, and before you can even tell what their genders are, and they sell for a decent amount. But I wanted to try and see this winter if around Christmas time, around the holidays, because a lot of people said, breed them to have around the holidays, around Easter and Christmas, and see if they sell better. And we're going to discuss in this video if they actually did sell better, or if it was actually just the same as usual. So, the question is posed, did the rabbits sell better? No. They didn't. I had 15 rabbits. We did have one pass away, so I'm down to 14, which leaves 2 male rabbits that I had not sold, which the one passed away was one that I hadn't sold as well, and so it was 3. So out of 15 rabbits, I didn't get them all sold, which we were okay with because I want to have some grow outs for meat. But my goal was to see, this experiment was to see whether they sold better around the holidays. I advertised them very well. I had most of them sold before they had, or all of them sold before we even knew their genders, and most of them sold a week or so after birth, which is the same as usual. I usually have them all sold before it even gets time for them to even be large enough or old enough to go to their new home. And so, did I do better than usual? No. close to the same. I mean, just 3 rabbits is not that big of a deal out of 15. But in previous times of the year, such as spring and summer, I usually completely sell out of the rabbits before they're even ready to go. And so, if the goal was to see rather the rabbits sold better, they didn't. Um, like I said, it wasn't a huge deal having 3 rabbits left over, but it was an answer to the experiment that we were having. If the question was posed, whether I made more money, I've done explained that I didn't sell all of the rabbits, that they didn't really sell any better than they had in the spring and summer. Did I make more money? And the answer is no. Although I had more rabbits than I usually do, if you break the rabbits down into price, I didn't make more money. I usually sell just a meat mutt rabbit, a meat mutt being a Flemish Giant New Zealand cross rabbit, for $25 a piece. Some I did sell for $25 a piece when I first started to sell them, but I had to lower the price in order to sell more of them. Um, and so I lowered the price down to $18, um, which is not, terribly low, but in the grand scheme of things, if I could have sold them for $25 a piece instead of $18 a piece, obviously I would have made more money. And so when it comes down to the financial part of it, did I lose money by dropping the price? No. Could I have made more money? Absolutely yes. And I think that comes down to the fact that it is Christmas time and people are looking for the best deal. They're, saving money for certain gifts, or they're not buy. A lot of people didn't even buy these for gifts. They bought them for their homestead and farm to have meat rabbits, to have rabbits just to start, a meat herd, or a meat, what do you call it, like a meat flock of rabbits. And so most of them weren't sold as gifts. There was a few that people were buying for themselves, but none of them was really sold as gifts. And so in my mind and in my thought, I thought, well, I'll sell them around Christmas time and people will buy them for gifts. But really, it just came down to me having to lower the price. That way people could afford to have them at Christmas time. And so they didn't really sell better, and I didn't make more money. And that was two of the things. That was the two number one things that I wanted to experiment with and see. So even just with those statistics, it's not horrible, but let's talk about why it's not worth it. So let's talk about the pitfalls. Why it wasn't worth it to have rabbits in the wintertime. Like I said, I didn't make more money, and I didn't sell all the rabbits. So number one being, in the wintertime, you have more of a chance of your rabbits, your baby rabbits, having nest eye or not wanting to open their eyes. And in this case, I had one litter, our doe, Pipsqueak, who had babies that had nest eye. And it was an everyday thing for about 2 weeks, so we had to go in, clean their eye, put a solution on their eye to keep their eyes open. And if you keep them too wet, then they get infected, which thank God we didn't have any infection. We just had to do that every day. So if I'm in the wintertime and I have other animals that I have to take care of, and it's freezing temps outside, and you're having to break waters, and you've got so much more to do, you've got to feed extra hay and do things like that, why add another thing to your list to have to do? The second reason is that you have to feed more. You have to give your animals more hay and more, which we feed alfalfa pellets. You hear of people giving Boss to their rabbits or oats to their rabbits to help their does produce more milk. And the reason for that is because it's wintertime and they're having to keep warm. They're having to burn that body fat to keep warm. Well, if they're burning that body fat to keep warm, what fat are they going to have left to feed to the rabbits? And so naturally, you're going to have to feed your rabbits more. So is it, which you're going to feed them more anyways, but if you're having to feed them more so that the does can produce more milk, so that the babies don't starve to death, is it worth it in the wintertime to have to feed more? You're putting more money, more time, more effort into the animal. I don't think it's the third reason why. If you've watched the video yesterday, we had a rabbit pass away. It passed away from freezing to death. I guess it got hypothermia and froze. And the reason for that is it hopped in the water bowl, it got wet, and it died. Now that could happen in the summertime. Very unlikely because it's warm outside. I know, their body temperature can drop quickly and things like that. But it's less likely to happen in the summer than it would the winter, because when the baby rabbits jumped in the water bowl in the summertime, I didn't even bat an eye. They dried off quickly, and none of them died. And so that's just 3 things that we've had to deal with having the rabbits in the wintertime that I haven't had to deal with having the rabbits in the spring and the summertime. But I feel like I've put a lot of effort and time into trying to keep these babies alive and fed and healthy, more than I would have had to do in the spring and the summertime. And so that's my reason, that's my opinion as to why I don't think it's a good idea to breed your rabbits in the wintertime, or to breed rabbits in the fall to have winter babies. Now, you might not agree, and that's perfectly okay, and everybody has opinions, and that's what I said on the last video. If it works for you, that's fantastic, but it just doesn't work for me. It hasn't worked on our farm, and I know that there's people that have these questions, because I have these questions, and I asked people, and some people said, no, it's absolutely not worth it, and some people said it's perfectly fine, I have no issues. And so I have this channel to help others, to educate others, to educate myself, to figure things out. And like I said, I asked other people, they said it was good, other people said it wasn't. Well, probably those people that said it wasn't good is the people like me that had the same issues. And so you can decide for yourself, but I figured that I would just give you a little insight as to why I think that it's not a good idea. Just do what's best for you. Do what's best for your farm. And I'll try to do what's best for mine. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out. And I hope that we can see you on the next one. We'll see you later.